Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Uh, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good. Uh, in the name of uh, Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I mean Holy Spirit, may Jesus have mercy on our souls, everyone equally. So, I wanted to pick up on what we were talking about last time, which is cost of living. So there are a lot to say about this subject, cost of living. But it's important to make clear from the onset that reality is very, very limited in nature, in the sense that our resources are finite. What that means is that when I think of a society in terms of what's a good society, right? What's a perfect society? Like, these are all university type questions that I used to read about a lot when I was in school. You read essays, you read different philosophers, what each philosopher has to say about how society could be, or should be, or could be. That's the thing about society. It doesn't matter what you think society should be, although that's part of the picture, we'll get to that. But reality, for the most part, has to do with what reality is. It's like you have to live with it. You have to cope with it. It's like dealing with a bad girlfriend. You just are in it, like the meaning of democracy, in my understanding, is to compromise with the other person, even if I am correct. That's the meaning of democracy. I still have to compromise with a person who may be wrong. That's, we have to meet in the middle somewhere, or democracy would not be possible, you see. Did I say girlfriend? No, I mean any other person, it's not, could be any bad person to be with, not just the point is, we are put in this world by God without our knowing it. We are just born one day. We don't choose our parents. We don't even choose our names. We don't even choose our religion. We are just born. It's like we have to deal with it. It's like life just happens by itself. You have to be good at it, or time will move on. People will move forward in life. If you don't make an effort in life, you will be left behind. You will never make any progress. So when philosophers talk about what society should be like, it's like that's a few steps down the few steps up the ladder, in the sense that now you're imagining society, how to control it, how to manipulate it, how to work with it a bit differently, rather than just being in it and surviving. So there are two aspects to it, like what society is and how to cope with it, and what society should be to make it better. But there's a technical point here which is very important to consider. Reality is finite in nature. It's not infinite. Our resources are finite in nature. Our time is finite. Our energy, our body is finite in nature. We get sick, we get tired, we get old, and eventually we run out of time. But reality still exists. That's the thing about reality. Reality never takes a break. So it's like we are working with very limited resources on all levels, which means that we are like sort of trapped in time. We human beings in this world, which is the terrestrial world as opposed to the heavens, we are like sort of trapped in time. We always imagine of heaven and whatnot, which we consider to be outside of time, where we believe that if both Muslims and Christians, which I'm both a Muslim and a Christian nowadays, both of the religions say that there is a place, heaven, which is outside of time. But for that, we have to go into the afterlife, and God will judge us accordingly and whatnot. And that's as far as we're in this life. We still have to cope with whatever is here. God will test us, test our character, our judgment. God will teach us. It's we have to learn. We have to obey God. That's the thing about believing in God. When a person believes in God, it's like saying, coming to a conclusion that I don't know as well as God knows about everything. I must make an effort, but God is the better judge and the better planner of our lives. That's a very important point. It's a bit counterintuitive. I will explain it, how I feel about this point. That when I believe in God, it's like I'm giving up my good judgment to some extent, like in suspended animation on some level. Like I'm on the one hand, I'm trying to gain control of my life, which according to my calculations, it's better to believe in God. But I'm always of the opinion that some amount of me is secular in nature. That is, God does not grip me like that, like because I have free will. I have to survive on my own. If there is a trouble in my life, God may not just descend from the heaven and give me if I'm hungry, He will not give me food just like that, will not buy me coffee just like that, will not call the ambulance for me if I'm not feeling well somewhere. I have to do those things myself, right? So there's a part of me that wants to gain control of myself. But when I believe in God, which I think is important, to extend that power, right, that free will aspect, extend it further. But here's the difficulty: when you choose to believe in God, you have to sort of scale back also. Without scaling back, that's a bit of a contradiction. It's like you have to sort of submit to the dictates of God, and it has to do with other Christians and other Muslims, other people also. It's like you have to compromise. That's the nature of democracy also. So according to my calculations, these are all good things. Just like the round table of King Arthur, where all the knights were equal. The round table of King Arthur is a bit different from regular Christians who go to the church and regular Muslims who go to the mosque, because the knights of King Arthur were a step higher than that. They were knights. They were like part of the court of the select few that every Christian or Muslim may aspire at the time of King Arthur to get there. That's the round table of King Arthur was famous for that. There was no boss over there. King Arthur considered every one of those knights on the round table equal. They were all supposed to come to a agreement over every issue and then go ahead with the job or whatnot. That was the main thing about King Arthur's round table. Otherwise it wouldn't be. That was the fantastic part about King Arthur, that everyone was like that's also the nature of democracy, the King Arthur's round table, where everyone is equal. Everyone has an equal say. The fact that we have a president or a prime minister somewhere is they are implementing that democratic principles. They are there to just fulfill their obligations to the principle of democracy, which is other people. This way I see that very similar. So there's another aspect here. If you focus, what makes a knight on King Arthur's round table higher, better than a regular Christian? Because on a level of principle, the Knights of King Arthur cannot be lower, in significance or in rank, in prestige, although they may not see that way, right? Like Jesus Christ never considered himself to be better than other people. He considered himself as any other person. That's again the concept of equality and democracy all go together. But there is what I'm trying to get to is that if I come across a knight of King Arthur's round table, how would I behave, right? Would I treat myself as equal to the person? Would I treat him as someone who can teach me to get there to the round table of King Arthur if I show the desire? Why I want to learn or get there? I will never say, I'm better than you. It could be equal or he's better than me. Is the key here. To get as far as the round table of King Arthur, one has to, in spiritual lingo, one can say that you have to be dead to yourself to get that far in life. One has to keep very minimum personal life preferences on them. It comes down to serving, like doing your duty in a way that would supersede other people, right? More than other people. That's how they get to be knights of the round table of King Arthur. That's a bit tough for me to swallow, to understand that on the one hand, I think that to be part of King Arthur's round table is a great thing because it serves a purpose. It protects society. It's the best thing you can ever achieve in your life to be. It's like a child can make a wish when growing up that I want to grow up to be part of King Arthur's round table, right? How nice is that? Like it's like a dream, like a quest or a goal. Children can think of that. I want to grow up to be over there. But that has implications that you have to be dead to yourself to get that far is the thing, which is the same as being a very good Christian or a good Muslim religious person who's understand what it means to be a religious person, right? So on the one hand, it is power. We all aspire to power. But then to say that you have to go over and beyond is a bit tough because you have to wake up early in the morning every day, go to work, and it's like there is it's like you're in uniform pretty much all the time, in that state. When you reach those levels, you're not like, I'm gonna work 8 hours today and then I'm gonna go home with my family, party a little bit, and tomorrow maybe I'll come to work for 4 hours, maybe. You can't do that stuff. You have to be a servant of society, literally, in a very grandiose way, that consciously, you have to make those you have to live those principles to a great extent. And there's also the Have you guys ever fasting like when you don't eat for the whole day. Lent in Christianity is called Lent, and in Islam is called Ramadan. Different ways of looking at it, but they both fast. Fasting is to not eat for a certain number of hours. They have their own rules and regulations. Some of them, like the Hindu, Buddhist people, they have different rules for it. Like one can drink water only. Some people don't drink or eat anything. They have different ways of going about it, but all do the fasting thing. Like when one thinks about the round table of King Arthur, we're generally thinking about power, superiority, strategy, offense in nature, right? Offense, like you have a sword, you have a control over your sword. Offensive in nature, you have power there, and you wield that power in society to control society for the good. Of course, the King Arthur's round table was considered to be for the good of people, but for that to become a reality, there's like you have to do those type of things. You have to fast, you have to worship, you sort of have to believe in the concept of giving up your personal preferences to the common good, which is in the name of God, to the other people. It's like you're giving off yourself to my time, my lifestyle, even my finances, money. I don't have to concentrate on it in the sense that it's for me. In that sense, even family life maybe have to be sacrificed. More time has to be spent out working, doing things that doesn't concern me, involving myself in issues that is other people's, in the name of God and whatnot, to do the right thing. I have to be sort of go beyond myself. So on the one hand, it is power, but on the other hand, for it to be just and good in the eyes of God and in the eyes of other human beings, one has to work very hard, is the truth about it. It's very difficult to do those things. It's not easy. And something along those lines. If you believe in democracy, you have to believe in King Arthur's round table type principles also. Otherwise, democracy may not be possible. So that's my understanding of what it means to be alive in a world where I believe in democracy, equality, spiritual principles that was inspired by the British common law back in the days. King Arthur is from the era where the Britannia rose up after the Roman Empire fell. Britannica, the British common law, all those things exploded. King Arthur's round table had to do with that a lot. If one is to believe in the continuation of these things, United Nations, Charter of Human Rights and whatnot, and sovereignty of nations, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, one has to work very hard, and it's a bit difficult. But here's the thing, one has to do these things, otherwise society, there's a consequence for these things. Society may go back to the Roman era. What was before the Britannica, the era of British common law? What was before that? Before that was the age of what generally people talk about, the age of ignorance, or the dark ages, is like where people believed in royalty a bit differently, almost like a bit in the sense that they did not it's like you don't want to be there type of thing. Back then there was slavery and whatnot officially, and people when people believed in God, they were it's like someone said that when God says he's God, he's better than us. No, he's actually better than us. But when a human being say that I am better than you. It's mostly you put other person down, and that's the thing about human beings. We don't really become better than other people, not really. But if I have to consider myself a royalty, I'm a big shot. That's usually not because I am getting better. It's usually I am putting other person down, and then I consider is the thing with these things. God may be actually better than us. Heavenly, celestial bodies, celestial entities, celestial beings, celestial human beings, celestial angelic beings, or angelic humans, you can say that, because we are made in the image of God, right? They're not that different from, but they may be different from us a bit differently, because someone was saying that we always get good stuff from the heaven. Ever seen any human being do a good thing to each other? Like, ever seen a human being invent something that is useful for humans? They're always inspired. We are the agency, sure, but it's always inspired by the heavens. That's also a bit, if you, it's like there is very, like, is an important point to understand. Imagine if heaven were to abandon earth, stop sending technology to us, stop sending progress to us, humanity will go back to stone ages, destroyed, like nothing will be left here. Like, we will have a land that is ravaged by ignorance, darkness everywhere. God says that if I were not to give, God says, if God was not to give us knowledge, understanding, capacity to think, we would be in the animal kingdom pretty much. We human beings would be walking around without any understanding. Think about that, right? We have understanding from the heavens. It's like a constant sort of revelation that is going on. People often talk about the cross like this, that there is the revelation and then there is the continuity of that revelation in the horizontal plane like this, which is we human beings are constantly carrying that light within us, what God gave us of understanding and what. Imagine without it, right? If God were to abandon us, we would be heading off into the middle of the forest, jungle, just walking left and right without any understanding. That's in my mind, that's very similar to damnation. You are now becoming condemned in nature. That's a very bad thing, you don't want that, right? So it's one has to honor these things. God has given us these things. You must live likewise, but there, as again, these things are very, very can be very heavy in the sense that when you decide to take responsibility in life, it may imply a lot of serious things. It's not all la-di-da, it's not easy to do these things. That is to say, when a calamity comes upon you, you must accept it, as a God is a better planner than me type of a lifestyle. Again, people then say that, well, can you try without it, right? Like, if you think that, oh, you know what, this is too difficult, and then what the alternative would be down the line, you looking at maybe humanity will become condemned one day, heaven will lose its control over planet Earth. We may be just like walking around in the jungle like we were animals with no understanding. That's the consequence of it. So which one is worse, right? It's like Christian people often talk about some very, very dark experiences. These are these night type peoples. There is a book called The Dark Night of the Soul, where the soul has to experience such difficult situations internally, spiritually, the calamities, the weightiness of being alive, experiencing God. When the soul is opened up to the heavens, it comes with a lot of dark stuff, dark experiences, the dark night of the soul is. But those are, again, one has to understand that dark night of the soul is a compassionate thing from the heavens. It is to develop you, to build you up further spiritually, perfect you, teach you things. Still, those are very, very difficult experiences. And here's the thing that scares me on a personal level, that those things are unavoidable, is the truth about it. You cannot escape it. If you choose to believe in God, you must submit to very, very difficult experiences on a spiritual level. But that, again, people say that is still better than walking around in the jungle without any electricity, without any houses, just living in the jungle like an animal. That is far worse. Like when God puts you in a situation which is difficult, which is tough, is still better, because there is an end point for it, after which you can see that the things are getting better due to this. So it's a bit like you have to see the right side up type of, so those are my personal understanding of what it means to believe in life. The Christian concept of burning the midnight oil type of thing, like when you choose to sleep less, like there are when you challenge yourself. I used to do these things. I used to go buy coffee, and I used to force myself to not put any sugar or cream and just drink black coffee. Just push myself, because we get addicted to sugar and creamy, rich dairy stuff. Try drinking black coffee, just black coffee. Go buy it. Pay money for black coffee. It's sometimes our body, especially when it's developing, especially in youth, when it's developing, you crave those things, the rich stuff, sugar and creamy dairy stuff. You crave. So at that point, when you're denying yourself, self-denial, when you're buying black coffee every day, that is what you have to. You have to live along those lines. Self-denial is a constant thing you have to deal with. You have to then believe in doing good in society, opposing people who are doing bad. You have to take a stance. You can't just ignore stuff. On the other hand, you also, its benefit is that one can pull back from a situation that can get very complicated if a good judgment, one can use one's good judgment. So it's like the choice is our own, which one we go for, right? You want to live in a society that is good and just, you have to believe in asceticism, spiritual practices, and self-denial, quite a lot actually. For me, I can understand that that's the way to go, but still can be like it's like tough, challenging, right? It's not easy, but still, that's the thing about the Christian lifestyle. Every Sunday we go to the church, there are things that lift you up. Christian people who are Christian musicians, they make music, then lifts up your spirit like that. You do see the light while you're at it also. It's like you're not completely, the dark night of the soul is not completely, it's like you're not like in the dark place through and through. That's the thing about church people and the mosque people. You always get that upliftment also, that encouragement from your fellow members. Those are the things you get from religious communities. And there are drawbacks to it, in the sense that religious people can get very complacent also, but that's of course this we have to keep each other in check also. So those are not big problems, but still So I think I am. I was talking about cost of living and whatnot. So one can, I mean, think of it like the cost of living. There is the dollar amount of cost of living. There's today's world, but I'm talking in general, like how, like broader sense. Here's the thing about the Christian concept of quickening, that God quickens you, right? Christian people believe that in rapture, that going into rapture, having a direct experience of God, and that is also has to do with the quickening of the spirit. What is quickening of the spirit? Is it essentially means self-development. It's like going to a good university and developing yourself to be a more educated person. It's like going to the gym to becoming a healthy, stronger person. Going for a run every morning, focusing on eating healthy food. Quickening of the spirit is all of those things, and it has to do very directly with the heavens and whatnot. There is a catch to these things. That is, there's an element of submission to the will of God, which can be a bit daunting. Like it could be like it's like you can get that overwhelming feeling that I am a bit like there's too much on my plate. I can't handle the situation, right? That particular feeling, quickening of the spirit, can be like that, difficult, challenging, in the sense that there is an aspect of how do I say it? Against your will type of a feeling, when your spirit is receiving an experience, direct experience from God, which doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens to saintly people. When people become saintly, they get there when they haven't choose to develop that person, haven't choose that person, that this one we will invest in him. Heavens make the person, the spirit is affected. Like there are a lot of saints who write about these things in their books. Saint Augustine, Nicholas of Cusa, the Dark Night of the Soul. People talk about it all the time. That they experience some very daunting things. They see things that other people don't generally see. There's a sense of against your will. It's very challenging. Now again, overall, it's a thing. This actually for the better, right? That makes you a better person. Other people find you more helpful. You become a more broader thinker, more you become good at what you're doing. This thing called life, you just get good at it in general. Other people start noticing it, that well, this person is a trustworthy person, like is well to do. Such people, interestingly, these saintly people who experience this Dark Night of the Soul stuff, they end up becoming the movers and shakers of society type of people. They always end up achieving something, even if it's ironically, like Jesus Christ was homeless all his life. He was poor, dirt poor all his life. But that was 2,000 years ago. We talk about Jesus Christ till this day. Is the thing. Once you have those experiences, other people will always benefit. You will always become the top tier type person. You know, thousands of years later, people will talk about you. But again, is the price you have to pay, right? It's a bit daunting, like in that sense, that you have to go beyond yourself. It's like one can say that you have to be dead to yourself. Now one can also say that since Jesus paid the price for our sins, our life is thankfully a bit more, you don't have to do the things that Jesus Christ had to do. The heavens was opened up for us human beings through the sacrifices of Jesus Christ. So that's why Jesus is understood by the Christian as the King of the King, right? The King of heavens, and pretty much part of the Trinity, the God level stuff, that he was this one and only Son of God who was sent down to help humanity like that. So it's like there are those things, but again, So just to end my video, talking about all these things, very pessimistic almost, dark and pessimistic from my point of view. That even if I believe in God and all the good stuff, I still have to live such a difficult and arduous life, very difficult journey. Life is a very long and difficult, and very you can become very miserable and unhappy either which way you look at it, whether you believe in God or not. Life is like it's only other people may, if you believe in God and do the right thing, other people may benefit from your actions. As far as I am concerned, I am looking down the barrel, right? Is either which way, one is better than the other, but believing in God is better than not believing in God. But to me personally, it may not come. There may not be a lot of difference in that. Life is still difficult for me, right? There's no break. I'm not gonna get any break in this life. I have to continue to work hard. I have to be like the Pope or something. Every human being, it has to be somewhat Pope-like, somewhat like the royalty. Have you seen the royal people, royal families? There are a lot of rules and regulations. You know, they just cannot walk outside, go to the grocery store. They cannot just go to a coffee shop. They have a lot of do's and don'ts. A religious person is similar. There's a lot of do's and don'ts. You become your own royalty type person. You have to abide by a lot of principles. Even if you're dirt poor living on the sidewalk, you still have to those observances are included. You know, life is not just happy-go-lucky type. But there is a thing over here that, for me, what is the break that I look forward in life? It is the sense of beauty that can be the solace, right? The break that I want to look like. There's a joke that a married person, the only break a married person get is when the guy puts all the family in the car, opens the passenger door for the wife, everyone gets in, closes the door, and walks around to the driver's side. That's the only break a married, religious, responsible person gets. Walk to the other side of the car, get back in, and you know, that's what we're looking forward to. But the sense of beauty is the inner reality that gives you that second chance to do these difficult things. Yet you can tune into something apart from all these dark stuff, deep within, the sense of beauty that awakens from painting, from good music, from good culture. You know, culture. When we think of culture, everywhere you go, speech, good speech, speaking nicely to other human beings. All of this in my life is, of course, it has to do with God and the heavens and whatnot, with the angelic beings. They're all good at it, all of them. And finally, on planet Earth, the one that is my part of gold at the end of the rainbow, or my prize, is marriage, right? The institution of marriage. To find a significant other, a partner that would get you, you know, understands what I'm going through, is the solace, is the sense of beauty that illuminates the soul within, inside out. Is very powerful stuff. Like you become a mini sun within here. Like even the core of Earth is got a very like energy in it, right? Warm energy, core of the planet Earth. You become like that. The sun out there has no covering. The sun out that gives us energy is exposed in nature, but the Mother Earth has a hidden core within, is like lava or magma, whatever it is. is like a hidden sun within the core of planet Earth. We human beings become somewhere in between. We feel when we believe in God and work hard, go beyond yourself, become dead to yourself, so to speak. It's a bit like feeling exposed, like the sun out. You're just out there, just beaming light for other people. But still, when I think of my significant other, my painting a good song, it's like it gives me that cover. I don't feel as out there. I feel whole again. Like I am like, it's like a cover, like the mercy aspect of God also, right? This has to do with sense of beauty and whatnot. Is my people often talk about it in the sense of being being given garbs to we people wear clothes. It's a garb, the covering, right? Covers you up. You don't have to walk around just like that, like the sun out there, just beaming away energy, out in the open for everyone to notice. You find some covering garb to cover you up. Sustainability and what is more desirable to us human beings. Some warmth is a good thing. You don't just combust. You don't just catch fire and combust and then become smoke like he, like God smoked you like you were a cigarette or something. God protects you also like this. God doesn't just want you, for his purposes. God says, no, you do it for yourself, bro. Gives you a family, gives you a community. It's like go have a good time, bro. It's like more in that sense. You start seeing the bright side of life. You have to work very hard to get there, is the thing. When I realized these things, on the one hand, it is very overwhelming. Like you become like I can't do this feeling. But then there is always that one good song out there that, it's okay, kind of thing. Some things in life are okay, man. When you come across a woman that looks at you, you think of it differently. Like it's you think like, maybe I should get married one of these days, man. God has given us those opportunities also. If a woman understands your mind, your lifestyle, your purposes in life, and is a good person, just person, not just is a sincere human being, the two can benefit quite a lot. Things can become very different. Like small things can change things big time. Now, just to end the video, we will continue to talk about these things. My personal observation about Jesus is that Mary Magdalene was never really mentioned in any holy book, except for Bible does in areas talk about Mary Magdalene as a life partner of Jesus Christ. But for the vast majority, Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ are not talk about that they are husband and wife. Holy books don't go that far even. You know what I'm trying to get to? That was the reality of Jesus Christ. That even the holy books was like, we should be just to telling the historical account of Jesus Christ. Like they were always apart from each other, Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ had to go through that shit. Even the holy books are like, we're not gonna get into the details that we're not sure of or we can vouch for. She was mentioned, but like, she was there, and Jesus Christ, God lived 33 years and whatnot. In the end, we all know how the story ends for Jesus Christ. That was the life of those two. I know. Nevertheless, 2,000 years later, here I am. I don't have to do that stuff. There's a community right there, You take lessons, life lessons, and take it in, and this, as someone said that if you feel that life just took a piss on your face, what do? Swipe my face, just get on with my day, man. You just get on with your day. You have it good still. So those are the things I think about sometimes, and think that life is can be difficult, can be dark, can be heavy sometimes. But again, it's not always a bad thing. It could be some things are heavy or challenging momentarily, but they come to an end. Then you come across a good song, you see a good painting, you read a good book, fantastic book. Sometimes wow, what a nice book that was. And sometimes you come across a very nice friend, same sex friend, and then there's always the grand prize, which is, for me, that is, I see some beautiful girl. Wow, that was. Anyways, there's always something to look forward in life. That's the thing, how we should look at the world. But again, we should never become like we have achieved it. They say that once you become number one, it's you have to remaining number one is it becomes more difficult. Getting to number one is hard enough, but remaining there is challenging in life. Nevertheless, there's always some good song out there, man, to make your day. Those are the small things that make a big difference. So that sense of beauty becomes the saving grace of our life. And when a woman sees me working hard, she sees the exact same thing in me. The sense of beauty in for a man to do these things, and for a woman to also see me as such. A woman is herself is that thing. We complement each other. That's a good thing. Life goes on. And then there's always that one day of the week, one day of the month, one day of the year where you will not feel well. You have to understand that the rest of it is okay. You have to encourage each other. There's always that one day that you feel that today's a very bad day. You have to come to those understanding that comes with it is just fact. You should not be discouraged by these things. But what I wanted to say, my final point was that they say that never leave a pregnant woman alone ever. For the 9 months that when a woman finds out she's pregnant, never leave her alone. Someone should be with her, whoever, husband or another person, because it's fraught with danger. When a woman is pregnant, she can have a lot of feelings that are unnatural, even sinister, negative in nature, because she's having there's a chemical process is going on that is giving birth to another human being in her body, right? It affects her all the way up. It can reach up, that thing can hit you in the head, can get to your head literally for a pregnant woman. So when another human being is always with her, she's gonna keep her in check. Is similar for all human beings. Men or other women who are not pregnant can feel the same once in a while in relation to the heavens. When the heavens speak to you, it's like God is impregnating you with meaning in a spiritual way, can have the same effect on you. So that's why religious people always encourage being in communities, never leave each other alone keep an eye on each other type of thing, so that like a pregnant woman it can get to your head. You can lose the sense of what is what in those moments. You can get deluded. Pretty much, it is like you have to protect yourself or your people, like that. Some of it can be very tricky, but it doesn't have to be, is the thing. But again, think of it from the point of view of a woman who's pregnant, who is dealing with all these things, and is not getting any help, right? That feeling is a tough one. You don't want to be there. You always want to make amends for it, always. Otherwise, life can be very unbearable. There are such things in life that are very dark, can make life very unbearable and undesirable and make you miserable. You can become a very miserable person. One can say a pregnant woman is a very miserable person, but not really, right? You have to show compassion, man. Come on, man. You can't think like that. A pregnant woman is a miserable person, but that's how she feels, though, is the point. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be like that. Same with me. When I'm thinking of heavens and God and my responsibilities, I can feel the same, but it doesn't have to be. So it's like you learn from each other, you encourage each other, you do the right thing, you give your dues to God, and then you give your dues to people around you. By the time you pay all your dues, it's like you're living from other than yourself. Yet you have all those things. You don't lose all those things. You still have a family. You still have a society to live in. All the good bells and whistles are all there. You have to view everything differently. It's like a little bit like reinventing the wheel almost. Every human being has to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, in spiritual matters. You have to understand everything on your own. Like you're gonna invent a new machine by the end of it. Like you have to do this like a mad scientist kind of approach, or you will not succeed. Stuff. I'm just saying. All right, we will continue in the next video. These are all my experiences. That's where I will share some more in the future. So, may Lord Jesus have mercy on all of us equally. And right.